Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Mawile. And the reason why we're taking a look at Mawile is with the most recent update, Mawile has access to the very infamous Power Up Punch. People are excited about Power Up Punch on Mawile for two reasons. One, it is the cheapest energy charge move that Mawile has access to now, cheaper than Vice Grip, Iron Head, and Play Rough. And then as well, the second reason is that Power Up Punch allows Mawile to have a one-stage attack boost, which means that bite damage is going to do a ton after it gets boosted. And already did a ton previously because it's one of the very few dark moves in this meta, and dark hits are super effective against Ghost and Psychic. So let's take a look at the numbers. Mawile, in terms of stats, has a 123 attack, 123 defense, 120 stamina, and 1824 product. This is all maximized for productive stats. It's obviously significantly behind Steelix and Bastiodon, and very similar to Empoleon. And this makes Mawile not a tank like Bastiodon and Steelix, and certainly not bulky like Bronzong, for example. But it's also not that squishy like Gallade or Haunter. So it's kind of in like that slightly below average bulk, which is not a terrible position to be in. Certainly not a great one either. In terms of the moves that we'll be looking at, we're going to be looking at Play Rough, Iron Head, and Power Up Punch. We're not going to be looking at Vice Grip because it's an overall worse move than Iron Head, and Play Rough gets double resisted by Ghost and then single resisted by Steel. So not a great move and no stab on it. In terms of Play Rough, it has 60 energy. It costs 60 energy, does 90 damage, 1.5 DPE, 1.8 after stab. Iron Head is 50 damage, 50 energy, 70 damage, 1.4 DPE, 1.68 after stab. Power Up Punch is 35 energy. It's the cheapest of the three. Only does 20 damage, which is associated with the nerf. Therefore, it only does 0.57 DP, which is absolutely terrible. And no stab on it. But it does allow you to have that one stage attack boost, which is what it is. Which is more helpful. When we take a look at the meta Pokemon that we're going to be analyzing, the main differences from the previous list is I took out Mawile and I changed Dusclops from Feint Attack to Hex based off some people's feedback. And Hex might overall be more useful than Feint Attack, but it's still up for debate in my opinion. But Hex does do better against Mawile than Feint Attack because Mawile does resist the Dark type Feint Attack, while Hex is neutral. And as well with Dusclops versus Mawile, you mostly want to get to those fire punches, and Hex has a higher energy generation. So this is a more conservative approach when looking at Mawile's performances. When we take a look at the Zero Shield matchup, we're going to be analyzing Play Rough, Iron Head, Power Up Punch, Play Rough, and Power Up Punch, Iron Head. We see in the Play Rough, Iron Head in the Zero Shield matchup or the close scenario, it picks up 7 wins, 9 losses, 0 draws, and it picks up wins against Poliwrath because with the reduced damage on Power Up Punch, it allows it to get to Play Rough before fainting. It beats Gardevoir because the Iron Head is able to land super effective damage against Gardevoir, and because it's able to get access to Iron Head, it allows it to be a Alolan Marowak. Versus Power Up Punch, Play Rough, it does pick up the Poliwrath matchup still, but it does not pick up the Gardevoir or Alolan Marowak matchup because one, it can't get to a Play Rough with a Mawile, and Power Up Punch won't do enough damage against Alolan Marowak. In terms of Power Up Punch, Iron Head, you do give up the Poliwrath matchup because both Power Up Punch and Iron Head are not enough to overcome Poliwrath. It's not great as an opener Pokemon, which makes sense. You definitely need shields. In the one shield matchup, we see that Play Rough Ironhead picks up 9 wins, 7 losses, 0 shield, while Power Up Punch Play Rough picks up the most wins at 11 wins, 5 losses, 0 shields. And then in the for Power Up Punch Ironhead, it picks up the Dusclops matchup, but doesn't pick up the Gallade matchup. So with Play Rough, you're able to then pick up the Dusclops and Gallade matchup, which you're not able to pick up under the previous scenario. So it is a strict upgrade in the one shield matchup, both for Play Rough and Ironhead, but Play Rough a little bit more because he's able to pick up that Gallade matchup. That Gallade matchup is also like bait dependent, where it does have to land the Leaf Blade bait and then hit it with a close combat. So just take that into consideration. In the 2 shield matchup, Play Rough Ironhead is able to pick up 12 wins, 4 losses, 0 shields. And then Power Up Punch Play Rough and Power Up Punch Ironhead is able to pick up 1 additional win, and that win is against Bastodon. But do note that several of these matchups against the meta are where Mawile is using 2 shields and then the opponent is usually using 0, which is the case with Bastodon. It could end up using 0 shields and still burn 2 shields of Mawile. And there's a few other matchups where the Pokemon also only uses 1 shield while Mawile uses 2. So just take that into consideration. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it is something it does make a difference because then you end up like still winning the lead, but you might be at a shield deficit, and we see that very similar to charm users. So take that in consideration. And the overall conclusion is that Power Punch makes Mawile better in the 1 and 2 shield. In the close, Play Rough Ironhead is actually better because those are both harder hitting moves, and when you're in a close situation, you do want to go with the more nuki type moves. And Mawile is a great lead or potential safe switch if no shields, no fighters in the lineup, or you don't think they're going to bring it to the team of 3. But do note that you might end up in a shield deficit. So you might, if you really value switch advantage and you feel like your Pokemon can win in the back, or that Mawile is able to chunk away enough damage on the next Pokemon to overcome a shield deficit, then take that into consideration. Power Punch. So Power Punch is an upgrade on Mawile, but don't get too carried away with it. It still maintains the same great matchups against the Ghost and Psychic Pokemon. It makes them a little bit better when it's relevant to do Power Up Punch, and certainly helps in the Dusclops matchup in the 1 shield. But the additional benefit is that Power Punch allows you to have like a more carryover effect once you win your particular matchup with Mawile, that bite damage is boosted, and if a Psychic Pokemon comes in or a Ghost Pokemon comes in, you're able to chunk away way more damage, and it certainly makes fighting Pokemon a little bit more relevant than if Mawile didn't get Power Up Punch. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to comment below on whether or not you'll bring Mawile to your team of 6. I'm definitely strongly considering it, even more so than I did previously. But it's definitely one that I'll have to construct a team where I'll need shields reserved for Mawile to get its full benefit. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.